Hello there, and welcome to another ClueCon Weekly. And joining me in the studio this time around, we're very pleased to have Joseph Montes from the VitalPBX project. How are you doing today, Joseph?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, David. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
It's a pleasure to have you along, Joseph. We love having interesting people talking about interesting things, and VitalPBX is an interesting project to hear more about. But before we get on to that, I was interested in your own sort of history and background, because everybody has a bit of a story about how they came to be involved in telecoms or telephony or open source. And so I wonder if you could fill us in on that first before we talk about the VitalPBX project.
Sure. My experience with communications and all of this telephony world, you can say it's a little bit inherited due to my father coming before me, already was working in this environment previously as a integrator, and I grew up with telephony my whole life and communications.
So you're a second generation telephony man then?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, grew up with it. Went to college actually for networking, but came back to telephony after graduated. And then started working with the family business directly with my dad, and then afterwards. Actually, you know Rodrigo, our CEO. He's a good old friend of my dad's, as well as Emmanuel, the president for VitalPBX, and they three are the trifecta, you know, of origins for VitalPBX. So there was a time that they needed somebody to do these type of relations and communicate with partners and clients and other people, and I decided to chip in and do a little bit of my own work there, and that's how I entered VitalPBX. I rather than stumbling upon it, it was almost like my destiny work to do this.
Great, yeah. You were almost bred for this specific role in this specific company, Joseph.
Yeah,
by the sound of things.
Now I wonder why my toys when I was little were old phones.
Great stuff. Okay. Well, it's good. It's good to hear that, and good to know how you found your way into this position. So, tell us a little bit about VitalPBX and how it came about in the first place, please.
Yeah. VitalPBX's story is quite an interesting one because before it being VitalPBX. Way back around 2011, 2012, the project started by it was called by that time Asterisk, and it originally was a small application that will allow you to manage Asterisk because at that time there were a couple of changes in the Asterisk world with you know, Zengoma and Freepbx, and they were the major contenders, and we wanted to make something simple that was going to allow us to maintain certain work for our clients. But afterwards, the project got bigger and bigger, and instead of being just a small application that you would install to do some little management, we started to make it a little bit more serious and turning it into a full PBX from that moment on. That's when around 2013, 2014, we started conversations with Zorcom from Israel. And while we were talking about this new project, they wanted to have something done from scratch, because once again, they were based on Freepbx, their original software, and we were starting this new frontier. So coming from there, we started working together. Zorcom and Telesoft is the name of the original company that developed this project, and started working together and making this into a new step for the whole project, which we called Ombutel. So some of the viewers might know a little bit about that project. Started a little bit a little while ago. So after the Ombutel project started, we were moving forward with a long telestuff with Zorcom, making a couple of trips around the world. And afterwards, in 2017, both Zorcom and Telesoft had different ideas on what the project should go to. And we came into some discussions into what we will do with this project and how it should evolve. So at the end, we all parted in both ways in a friendly manner. We're still good friends with the people at Zorcom. They are great people. The original team got the project back for what was Ombutel at that moment, and from then on, it was decided that the project needed to be its own company to formalize things, to distribute it better. So it was decided that we're going to make a name change and evolve it from there. So that's where VitalPBX was born. Established firstly in Delaware. Then we also have the offices in Miami where I usually operate. And we also have offices in Panama, Nicaragua, and Honduras.
Yeah, and now I was going to ask that because there does seem to be a center of gravity around Latin America. And I was going to ask whether that has any influence. I mean, for instance, is there any other language support outside of English in the user interface, or is the GUI an all English thing?
Oh, well, yes. Mainly the interface will be English, Spanish, but we have also worked with the community to have various updates to it and have them help with translations. We made a small GitHub page and video to make it easier for them to chip in with translations to other languages. So now the interface as it is. Graphically, it already supports English, Spanish. I know that there's some French, Italian, Portuguese. So the interface itself has evolved a bit, and right now we're working on evolving the audio prompts because the audio is fully English, Spanish, but we're trying to update and the rest of the voice prompts to the other languages at the moment.
Great. Okay, now of course you mentioned Freepbx. Of course, the elephant in the room. It's the GUI that we all know around Asterisk, and of course I should also mention that back in the day they did try and apply the GUI on top of FreeSwitch as well a good few years ago, and I'm not sure whether it stuck there. But just thinking about the context in which you started VitalPBX, Freepbx would be out there, very well known, and of course at that stage in history, I think that. Was it Elastics, or had it turned into Isabel at that point that was also already out there?
Yeah. That's correct. So from that parting point, that's what made us go through this endeavor on making our own interface and asterisk management system, because we were just unsure at that moment. Many of our clients for the companies we have for the integrations on the different countries, they were all under this either Elastics or Freepbx, and we were a little bit unsure on how that was going to evolve. So out of that, we decided to make our own project and let that evolve into what it is today.
Yes, understood. So that, in other words, you were kind of in a bit more tighter control of the way things were going to unfold. But you also made the choice to make it an open source project. Is that correct or not quite?
Not that's not quite the. We still leave you access because Asterisk, of course, it's open source. But what the project is for VitalPBX itself and the different applications, that is closed. So that's proprietary for us. But we try to make it as easy if somebody wants to chip in and develop something for it. It's quite easy to do it through the API that we have developed. So you can fetch a couple of information, and that's constantly evolving, because we do not want to. We know that in this Asterisk world, in this open source world, everybody likes to make their own custom applications and custom developments for their specific situations. We're trying to make VitalPBX as versatile as possible with it, but just being a little bit conservative with the core coding. But making it accessible to develop for it.
Yeah, as I understand it, though, VitalPBX is free for people to use.
Yes, that is correct. The version that you download from VitalPBX that is free for you to use, and you get everything out of the box for unlimited in terms of the essentials for the telephony side of things. You know, queues, extensions, IVRs, all of that is already part of the PBX, and you can use it freely, no charge. What we actually make commercial is the add-ons that we include for VitalPBX. You know, that to expand a little bit of that feature set of the simple PBX. So we have made a couple of commercial add-ons that you can install inside of the system. Right.
I'm with you. Okay, great. So we could summarize it as sort of closed proprietary but freely available in the basic functionality that people would need for a telephony system.
That is correct. That would be the most accurate description. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. And so you mentioned that part of the reason for creating it was that you were unsure about where Elastic Stroke Isabel was going, and you're unsure about Freepbx. So I can understand the reasons for creating it. Was there anything from a functionality point of view that you thought, we don't really like what's out there at the moment, and so we want to create this enhanced functionality or different functionality? Can you tell us about that aspect of the creation?
Yeah, and that's an extremely great point, because as I mentioned, the whole team already comes from a very telephony environment. We're all very into the traditional telephony and how other PBXs. Most of the team come from the Alcatel, Lavaya, Cisco world. And you know how those guys are. So there were a couple of things, because once again, not to bash too much into the name, but Freepbx was more IT oriented, and the way that it works is more IT oriented. But we wanted to make something that was more telephony oriented. So because that we already know about a couple of features and a couple of things that we know are necessary, especially in the environments we're operating on. One of the biggest examples that I like to give is the classes of service, where you're able to manage the way that calls flow outgoing from the PBX. That is something that the other solutions have made it either commercial or either not available out of the start. And that at the moment that we were developing this, that was one of the first applications that we created, because that we created for the system, because it allows us to control which numbers or how you can dial certain numbers. For example, in our countries, it's very common to limit international calls. So we need something to control that, either through a timer or through or blocking that number incompletely. So that is something that we're looking to.
I was just going to say, in one way, it's like a form of user management, isn't it? It's like a privileges level. And so you might have a super user in Salesforce or whatever that can see lots of things that other people can't. And so it's in the world of the PBX, you have people that can make international calls and people that can't, or, different classes of service there.
Yeah. That's correct. That's one of that's one of the essential features that we considered that the PBX needed to have, as well as this was something else that we were working even on the Asterisk Age one of the other first applications that we developed was to have the ability to use Asterisk call recording abilities to record the third-party PBXs, because recording on the traditional systems can be quite expensive and quite heavy on the pocket. So we wanted to make something simple that was that had that ability. So that that ability to have the trunk come through the well, now it's through the VitalPBX first, and then to the third-party system, and have the VitalPBX work as a external recorder, basically. That was another feature that we wanted to include for the system.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good. Thank you for explaining that. So you've given us a little flavor of, you know, when you first came out with VitalPBXs, the differences that you wanted to make in functionality compared to what was already available. And so my next question is, how has that now evolved to the present day? You know, what have you found that your customers were demanding, and what were they kind of pulling towards that you had to create, you know, to keep up with them in terms of ongoing delivery of functionality?
Yeah, well, there has been quite a bit that we have developed, and based on user feedback, many customers will have certain requests, and we're gladly to hear what they need, and to include on the system, because it's always good to add more features. We just conserve ourselves into the type of features how they are added, as long as they're beneficial for the major community. And one of the things that I can think as of this moment out of the tip of the tongue, recently we added some extended features to have the multiple emails on an extension. Usually you can have an extension to be like your voicemail hub, a virtual extension that will be that. And you might want to have multiple people know when there's a voicemail left, so you can add multiple emails to that virtual extension and have that notification come to multiple people. That was a request that we received from users. And similarly, other things that maybe we obviated, we left out during initial development. One thing I can think of was having overwriting a caller ID on the outbound route level. That was something we originally didn't have, but something the other systems had in the past, and some users were like, "Wait, hey, where's this feature? We have it on this other system, and it's not here.
Right?
Can you develop it?" And sure on. We added that feature, for example.
Okay. And what about in the area of contact center functionality? Did you have a kind of a good offering there from the word go, or is that something that you've had to evolve into?
Yeah, we have evolved into this environment, hearing what the people like, if I'm a politician, what the users are willing to have, and they have been eager to be using VitalPBX, and the more the requests that they make, the more features that we add. We also have our own different projects that we want to add more into VitalPBX, like our recent WebRTC soft phone that we're looking to release quite soon. And we closely work with the community to get the platform where it's heading at, and how it evolves. So we're always listening to the feedback. We have a beta test program where they can test early access to certain features, and they can give us certain feedback onto it's working, it's not working, something should be added, something should be removed, so on and so forth.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you. And what about just now looking forward to the future for VitalPBX? Where do you see things heading? What's in the pipeline or coming down the road, as it were?
Oh, well, we have quite a lot in our hands right now on what we want to release. Major things right now is an evolved version for our provisioning system. we want to make it even more intuitive. I see that we have seen that the current one has struggled a little bit, and it's getting quite old. So we're working hard. We're contacting different brands, manufacturers, to have the most number of phones as possible included to that new provisioning system.
Right.
Right now we're also working on the WebRTC soft phone and our mobile client, which is called a VITXI, VITXI. Those have been quite some fun projects to create, and those are also always evolving, as well as VitalPBX. So right now they are quite simple in terms of they make audio video calls, screen sharing, chat. Those are the basics that have right now. But what we're looking into the future is having VitalPBX to be a very congruent platform, to have everything that's needed at the reach of the hand, and be as accessible as possible in terms of features and pricing.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a transition from kind of what one might call standard PBX functionality going towards unified communications, having some of those extra facilities.
Yeah, that's correct. Making it unified communications, and even have applications that will become omni-channel and tackle those types of environments. Especially since VitalPBX has now been gaining presence in the call center world. We're trying to make more tools for that environment.
Yes, omni-channel is a pretty big deal, isn't it? With people using all sorts of mediums. In fact, talking about not entirely related, but I'm joining here from Brazil, and where are you, Joseph?
Right now I'm in the Honduras offices. This is my hometown. So visiting. Was visiting family, and actually I've been here for quite a while. I got here, and then the big world situation happened. So I've been here for all this time. I have settled up on the offices, got some extra gear, as you can see.
Right. Yeah.
And been working from here, and we've been upgrading the office quite a bit since I got here. Right. So it's getting it's since this is an internet company, an internet world. So it's always like if we're always connected.
Yeah, that's good. What I was going to say was, down here in Brazil, where I am at the moment, WhatsApp is very widely used for business. The way you talk to business is WhatsApp. The way you order your burger from a takeaway is by WhatsApp. The way you talk to the furniture shop is via WhatsApp. So omni-channel in contact center, I can see is a very important thing to integrate, to have those kind of chat channels available, not just web-based chat, but whether it's WhatsApp chat or Messenger or whatever it might be. These are all becoming popular ways to communicate with business, aside from the personal one-to-one communications or group chats. Okay, very, very interesting stuff. Thank you for sharing that with us, the story of VitalPBX and where you are now. Now, does VitalPBX have a multi-tenant offering, or is it a single PBX implementation the way it is at the moment?
Oh, well, good you bring that up. We actually do have a multi-tenant platform. So multi-tenancy inside of VitalPBX is quite simple. It's not like other solutions where you will have like little virtual machines running like a Docker. Here, multi-tenant is actually an add-on module that you can install inside of VitalPBX. And it will allow you to create multiple customers, multiple clients inside of the one single installation. So there's only one IP address. There's no need to manage a whole network to have multiple tenants, and it's quite intuitive. You can manage the different privileges for the different tenants. You can even have tenant administrators. So, for example, either on a reseller or on a corporate level, where you might want to have let's say a reseller might have their own 5 tenants for them to sell to their own clients, you can create those type of administrators and have them manage those 5 tenants. Or in a corporate world, like the food industry, where you might have multiple restaurants on different locations. Maybe you want, maybe there are different types of restaurants. One's a pizza restaurant, the other is a burger place, and you might want to have them on separate PBX systems, and you can have easily an administrator for those 2 different places.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. Well, thank you very much. We're coming towards the end of our time together, Joseph, and it's been good of you to step in and talk to us about what is going on with VitalPBX. But before we finish, is there anything else that you'd like to mention that has not come up in conversation so far?
Well, I guess that I have given my VitalPBX speech here. I've mentioned all the different projects that we have in mind. Especially stay tuned, everybody, for Vidsi. It's going to be a very, very neat application that you can have inside of VitalPBX and on your mobile phones.
That's the WebRTC work that you're doing.
Yes, that's correct. That's the WebRTC platform. It's very, very easy to use, and I hope that everybody will enjoy their experience with that application.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Do give my regards to not only your father, but the other folk that I know in the VitalPBX team. It's been good to see them when we come together for the shows in Miami. Or Fort Lauderdale, or wherever it happens to be, and I think it's been moved to June of next year. So hoping that we're kind of back to normal then, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, hopefully. Always looking forward to seeing you in person, and it's always a good time having a chat with you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you very much, Joseph, and all the best to you. Bye for now.
Sure. Bye. Have a good day.